When it comes to buying a car, we all want to feel like we're making a smart investment. But what if I told you some SUVs on the market today are nothing short of financial disasters? Vehicles that look great in a glossy brochure, but quickly turn into regrets on wheels. In this video, we've got the 9 worst SUVs that no one is buying, or at least no one should be buying according to the latest Consumer Reports data. And trust me, some of these might shock you. From high-voltage batteries that are a constant fire hazard, to luxury rigs that spend more time on a mechanic's lift than on the road, these vehicles are riddled with problems. And here's the kicker. Several cars on this list are being discontinued or phased out by 2026 because they've been such a nightmare for the manufacturers. Stick with me to the end because this isn't just a list, it's a buyer's guide to what not to buy. Miss this, and you could be driving straight into a financial nightmare that you'll regret for years. Starting at the top of the avoid list, we have the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. Now, on paper, this looks like a winner. It's the greenest minivan in its class, it offers a quiet ride, and it qualifies for those juicy tax credits. But the reality is a complete mess. This vehicle is consistently ranked as one of the least reliable vehicles in the entire Consumer Reports database. Owners aren't just complaining about a loose piece of plastic or a squeaky seat. They are reporting major issues with the high-voltage battery and the charging system. Imagine plugging in your car at night only to find out it won't take a charge, or worse, receiving a recall notice telling you not to park it inside your garage because it might spontaneously catch fire. The situation has become so dire that for 2026, Stellantis is officially pulling the plug on the PHEV version. They are discontinuing it because of persistent fire risk recalls and a terrifying loss of drive power issue, where the car can just die while you're driving at highway speeds. It's a don't buy because very soon it might not even be supported by the manufacturer. You're essentially buying a ticking bomb with no exit strategy. If you're looking for a family hauler, this is a gamble you simply shouldn't take. At the next spot, we have the Volkswagen Taos. This one is a real heartbreaker because it looks like a mini Tiguan. It has that clean German styling and a compact size that seems perfect for city driving. However, it has become a frequent bottom dweller in reliability rankings. The build quality feels significantly cheaper than other Volkswagens, and owners are constantly reporting electrical gremlins that make the infotainment system go haywire. But the real problems are under the hood. Common complaints involve a transmission that is described as jerky and unpredictable. Even more concerning is the engine stalling and premature head gasket failures. We are talking about gaskets blowing before the car even hits 30,000 miles. That is unacceptable for a modern vehicle. When you buy a new car, you expect to at least get through your first few sets of tires before the engine needs major surgery. The Taos might look cute in the driveway, but the mechanical headaches make it a total disaster for your bank account. Moving right along, the Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, the plug-in hybrid version, is another vehicle that proves that adding a battery doesn't always make a car better. While the standard Grand Cherokee is a staple of American roads, the 4xe version has been particularly plagued with glitches. Owners report a glitchy transition between gas and electric power. Instead of a smooth handoff, the car can shudder or shake the whole cabin when the gas engine kicks in. It's unrefined and frustrating for a vehicle that carries such a high price tag. Just like the Pacifica Hybrid, the 4xe is being phased out for 2026 as Stellantis pivots away from this specific hybrid tech. They know it's not working. When a car company decides to stop making a specific powertrain because it's too problematic, that is your sign to stay far, far away. If the people who built the car don't want to deal with it anymore, you definitely shouldn't be the one left holding the keys. Speaking of expensive headaches, we have to talk about the Land Rover Range Rover and the Discovery. These are the pinnacle of luxury and status. They look incredible, the interiors are like high-end hotel suites, and they can go places most other SUVs wouldn't dare. But Consumer Reports consistently gives them some of the lowest predicted reliability scores in the industry. The complexity of these vehicles is their downfall. Between the adjustable air suspension and the massive infotainment screens, there is just too much that can go wrong. Owners report repair frequencies that are nearly double the average for luxury SUVs. When a Range Rover breaks, it isn't a cheap fix. You're looking at dealer visits that can easily cost thousands of dollars for sensors or suspension airbags. It's a match made in heaven if you love your service advisor and have a dedicated repair fund in your savings account. But for everyone else, it's a financial trap. It's a beautiful vehicle that unfortunately spends far too much time sitting in the shop. Next up is the Ford Bronco Sport. Now, don't confuse this with the big Bronco that everyone is obsessed with. This is the smaller, car-based version, often called the baby Bronco. It has the rugged looks and the cool branding, but it hasn't quite mastered the durability of its older sibling. The Bronco Sport has faced a staggering number of recalls involving everything from fuel leaks to brake issues. Consumer Reports members have reported rough acceleration and recurring water pump failures. A water pump failing on a relatively new car is a major red flag. If the engine overheats, you're looking at a total loss. While it's great for light trails and looking cool at the grocery store, the underlying mechanical bits feel rushed. It's a classic case of style over substance, and in the long run, those fuel leaks and engine issues will turn that cool factor into a very expensive nightmare. Coming in at number 6 is the Chevrolet Blazer EV. This was supposed to be GM's big moment in the electric SUV world, but it had an incredibly rocky launch. It was hit with a major stop sale order almost immediately after hitting dealerships due to massive software bugs. We're talking about screens going completely black while driving and charging systems failing to recognize the plug. Beyond the technical glitches, there is a huge wave of negative consumer sentiment. Many owners are frustrated by GM's decision to remove Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Instead, they forced a subscription-based native system on users that people find clunky and less intuitive. When you spend $50,000 or $60,000 on an electric SUV, you expect the tech to work better than your smartphone, not worse. Between the software failures and the annoying tech restrictions, the Blazer EV feels more like a beta test than a finished product. You might be surprised to see a Mercedes-Benz on this list, but the GLS is currently struggling with surprisingly low reliability scores for a flagship luxury SUV. For a vehicle that costs well over $90,000, buyers expect perfection, but the GLS often ranks lower than its BMW X7 rival in terms of long-term dependability. Consumer Reports points to ongoing issues with the in-car electronics, which seem to have their own mind of their own, and the 48-volt mild hybrid system. This hybrid system has been known to fail, and when it does, it can leave drivers completely stranded. There's nothing more embarrassing or frustrating than having your nearly six-figure luxury barge towed to the dealer because a battery system failed. It's a gorgeous interior and the power is great, but the constant worry about electrical failures makes the GLS a risky bet. It's a high-maintenance relationship that many owners are finding isn't worth the stress. Then we have the Audi Q4 e-tron. This one is in a tough spot because it shares a lot of its DNA with the Volkswagen ID.4. That's not a compliment. The ID.4 has been widely criticized for its frustrating buttonless interior, and the Audi version carries over some of those headaches. Consumer Reports notes that the touch capacitive steering wheel controls are fiddly and hard to use while you're actually trying to drive. Furthermore, the range on the Q4 e-tron is becoming less competitive every single month. Newer rivals from Genesis and Lexus are hitting the market with better range, better tech, and much higher reliability scores. The Audi feels dated already, and it hasn't even been out that long. It's an expensive EV that doesn't quite deliver the premium, seamless experience you expect from a brand like Audi. In a fast-moving market, this is one SUV that is quickly being left behind. Finally, we have the Jeep Wrangler. Now, the Wrangler has a cult following that will defend it to the end, but Consumer Reports isn't as impressed. This is a love-it-or-hate-it vehicle, and the data shows why. It gets very poor marks for predicted reliability, wind noise, and steering wandering. The problem is that many people buy a Wrangler because it looks cool, but they use it as a daily driver on the highway. The Wrangler is built for trails, not for commuting. On the highway, the ride is stiff, the wind noise is deafening, and you have to constantly correct the steering just to stay in your lane. Because of this, it has some of the lowest owner satisfaction scores for road use. Unless you're actually hitting the mud every weekend, the low fuel economy and lack of comfort make the Wrangler a terrible choice for a primary vehicle. It's a tool for a specific job, and when used as a regular car, it's a total disaster. By the way, if you think these SUVs sound bad, wait until you see the list of cars that won't even last 40,000 miles without a major breakdown. Some of those vehicles redefine the word unreliable. You can click the card above to see which ones to steer clear of. The common thread with almost every vehicle on this list is a disconnect between what the car promises and what the actual vehicle delivers. Whether it's a hybrid system that's being discontinued because it's a fire hazard, or a luxury SUV that's too smart for its own good, these 9 SUVs are proving to be major headaches for their owners. Before you sign those papers at the dealership, do your homework. A lower price or a fancy badge doesn't mean much if the car is sitting in a repair bay for weeks at a time. These are the worst SUVs that no one is buying or should be buying according to the latest Consumer Reports data. While these vehicles might look like good deals on the surface, they come with hidden costs and major reliability issues that can drain your bank account and your patience. Don't forget to subscribe and click the link below for a look at the SUVs that are actually worth your money, the ones that are almost perfect according to Consumer Reports. Stay smart, stay informed, and don't let a bad SUV drive you into a financial nightmare. See you in the next one.